Welcome to Pro Tools with Speech, an accessible guide to using Pro Tools with VoiceOver on the Mac. I'm Matt Demert.
And I'm Rob Polivka.
Welcome to ProToolsWithSpeech.com. On today's tutorial, we're going to take a look at using virtual instruments in our projects. Now, before you get started, the first thing you will want to make sure is that you have virtual instruments installed on your Mac. And you can do that by going to the Avid website and getting the Pro Tools instrument pack for your particular version of Pro Tools. So if you have Pro Tools 10, you'll want to get the version for Pro Tools 10. And if you have Pro Tools 11, you'll want to get the corresponding version for Pro Tools 11. Now, I have Pro Tools open and running. We have a session running, and I have a selection made. I'm going to press play on the selection, and you're going to hear there's a couple instruments there, one of which is a virtual instrument. So you heard a guitar and you heard some strings there, and the guitar was a mic'd up guitar that we recorded, and the strings are from a virtual instrument. So let's talk about creating a track in order to instantiate a virtual instrument on it. I'm in my track list table, and let's see here. We've got
selected ACGTR AKG audio track text.
A guitar track selected. Now remember, when I create a new track, that's going to put my next track directly to the right of this track. So I'll hit Command-Shift-N.
New tracks dialog. Create text. 1. Content selected. Edit text.
And we're going to be doing a virtual instrument. So in this case, we want to go over here to our right with VoiceOver right arrow.
New text. Mono. Track format.
And we want a stereo track. So I'll do a VoiceOver space.
Menu checkmark. Mono. Stereo.
And we'll press enter.
Stereo. Track format. Pop-up.
And we'll go over to track type.
Audio track. Track type. Pop-up button.
And we actually want a VoiceOver space on this.
Menu checkmark. Audio track.
And we'll change this to instrument track.
Instrument track.
And I'll press enter.
Instrument track. Track type. Pop-up button.
And we'll press enter one more time, and that'll actually create the track.
Mix. Endless miles. Window. ACGTR AKG audio track text.
And I'll do a VoiceOver right.
Selected one instrument track text.
And we can name these tracks just as we do our audio tracks. So we'll go ahead and name this. We'll do VoiceOver Shift-M for the context menu.
Menu. Hide.
And we'll hit R for rename.
Rename. Ellipsis.
I'll press enter.
Rename. INS1 dialog. Name the track. Text. INS1. Content selected.
We'll just backspace that out. And I'm just going to name this Test.
T-E-S-T. Test. Space.
And we'll press enter.
Mix. Endless miles. Window.
Now let's go find our test track and let's add a virtual instrument to it. So we'll stop interacting with our track list table. VoiceOver Shift up arrow.
Stop interacting with.
And we'll just do a VoiceOver left until we find our test track.
Master 1, Vox for Harms Odd, Vox, dot, keys ending, add second, add drums, bass audio, test ACGTR, test instrument track, bass audio track, test instrument track.
And we'll interact with this VoiceOver Shift down arrow.
Interact with test instrument track, 18 items, inserts, toolbar item palette.
And we're going to insert the virtual instrument onto this track. So we'll do a VoiceOver Shift down arrow to interact with the inserts.
Interact with inserts, toolbar item palette. 10, unassigned, insert selector A button.
And we'll put it on slot A. So I'll do a VoiceOver space.
Menu checkmark, no insert.
And we'll just down arrow.
Multi-channel plugin, submenu.
We'll hear multi-channel plugin, so I'll hit a right arrow.
Multi-channel plugin, submenu, EQ, submenu.
And I'm just going to press I for instrument.
Instrument, submenu.
And we'll just do a right arrow to open that submenu up.
Instrument, submenu, addictive drums, stereo.
And we'll just down arrow here.
Boom, stereo, DB33, stereo, mini grand, stereo.
And some of these that you've heard are things that come with the Pro Tools instrument bundle, and some of them are third-party plugins that I have installed. So if yours doesn't sound exactly like mine, that's probably why, just so you're aware.
Morphoder, stereo, structure-free, stereo, TL Metro, stereo, vacuum, stereo, expand 2, stereo, expand 2,
we'll
stereo.
Go ahead and go to expand, because that has a collection of instruments here. So we'll press enter.
Insert selector A button, plugin, expand 2.
And by default, it just puts something on your track, so we'll just see what it put here.
Insert positions, less than factory default, greater than, librarian menu.
So what is their factory default? I'm just going to hit a button on my MIDI keyboard. And there's our default sound. All right.
A, insert position, less than factory default, greater
if we
than.
Click this factory default button, and again, I'm running Pro Tools 10, so your mileage may vary, but we'll do a VoiceOver spacebar here.
Menu checkmark, less than factory default, greater than.
And we'll down arrow through them and see what some of our options are.
O1 soft pad, submenu. O2 bright pad, submenu. O3 huge pad, submenu. O4 action pad, submenu. O5 ambiance plus FX, submenu. 06 polysynths, submenu. 07 synth brass, submenu. 08 percussive, submenu. 09 multi-track arpeggios, sub. 10 simple arpeggios, sub. 11 soft leads, submenu. 12 hard leads, submenu. 13 acoustic piano, 14 pianos plus cloth, 15 organs, sub. 16 strings, submenu.
We'll go to strings because for this particular song, that's what we would be needing is some strings. So we'll do a right arrow.
16 strings, submenu. Plus 01 bigger legato strings.
And we'll just go,
Plus 02 big
go
soft
through
strings.
some of these strings options.
Plus 03 big hard strings. Plus 04 sad form and strings.
And I'm just going to press enter on this just so that you see that now when I press enter, the sound that we get when we press our MIDI keyboard has changed.
Plus 04 sad form and strings. Librarian menu. Pop-up button.
And we'll just press something on the MIDI keyboard here. Now, you're hearing the strings. If you played our audio right now, we'd actually be able to play along. You'd hear these strings. However, this track's not armed, so even though you do hear the audio from your MIDI keyboard, if you hit Command Space right now, let's go ahead and do that.
Dialog. No tracks are record enabled.
So
Text.
it tells us that the track's not record enabled. So just because you've instantiated the plug and you've got it ready to go and you hear the sound and when you play along with the audio you still hear it, that doesn't mean it's ready to record. So we still have to arm this track, so we'll just do a VoiceOver N to go to the OK button.
OK button.
And I'll just do VoiceOver spacebar.
Mix. Endless miles window. Insert selector A button.
And we're going to stop interacting with Insert Selector A.
Stop
And
interacting.
I'm actually going to go back
toolbar.
into the plugin window. So let's say, for example, you do something and you lose focus from your plugin window. You can do a VoiceOver F2 twice quickly.
Mix. Window chooser menu. 3 items.
That brings up your window chooser, and I'm going to go back until I hear plugin.
Plugin. Expand to.
And
Previous.
we'll press enter.
Plugin. Expand to window.
And we're going to close that. Control Option Tab.
Ignoring next key
That
press.
ignores the next, and then we'll do VoiceOver Command W. That closes the window.
Inserts toolbar item palette.
And we'll go down here to the arm button.
Sends toolbar. Audio input path select. Audio output path selector. Automation mode select. Group ID indicators. 100 to the 100 to track record enable button.
There's the track record enabled, and if you do a VoiceOver space on that,
Press track record enable.
and then move off of
100.
it. Let's move back
Armed.
onto
Track
it.
record
Now we
enabled.
hear that this track is armed. So now if I hit record, we'd be ready to go, and this track would be recorded. So let's talk about what you can do with a virtual instrument. You can use them as drums. You've got pianos. You've got strings. But you treat these just as you would any other track. So you can actually add compression. You can add EQ. You can send it out to a time-based processing effect such as delay or reverb. So the sky's the limit with creating projects with virtual instruments. For more tutorials and tips and tricks on how to get the most out of Pro Tools with VoiceOver, check us out on the web at www.protoolswithspeech.com. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at PTWithSpeech.